Wicked. Brrr. Here we are once again. Sorry if that was a bit loud, but I get excited when I jump in and do this, man. The man, Kudos, James. How do I pronounce it? Tretheway, is it?
Sup? Yeah, Tretheway.
Oh, awesome. Got one. Just out here, bro. Like, first day of winter, sun's shining. It's a good thing. You must be enjoying some lovely kind of climate where you are right now.
So good. I had to skip it this year. I'm just like...
I'm out. I'm done.
It was so charming when I first moved. Later, I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go overseas for winter. It's going to be great.
You're like, this is lovely.
Yeah. Everyone here is like, oh, it's so hot. I'm like, nah, this is great. Like, this is so good.
This is perfect.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
What's your take on like getting the vitamin D in? Does that affect you if you don't get the vitamin D in? Does it like make you all depressed and stuff? Or like, yeah, what's your composition like in terms of that stuff?
I think it definitely does, you know, because I'm from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. So I like grew up by the beach where you just get vitamin D all the time without even thinking about it.
Excess.
Yeah. And when I moved to Melbourne, like I didn't even think about mental health at all until I moved to Melbourne. And then living in the mental health, like you got to maintain that shit. And I have learned over the years that vitamin D is a big part of it. So I take like vitamin D supplements and stuff when I'm living in the cold in the city.
Yeah. What style is it? Like just a tablet or something, or what? How's
whatever they have at the chemist. Yeah, chemist. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know. It says vitamin D, so I eat it. Yeah.
So do you know much about that sort of stuff and that nutrition and all that sort of stuff?
Nah, I mean, for me, it seems like there's so much information these days, which can be really great, but it can also be really confusing. So over the years, I've definitely I definitely have things that I know make me not feel well. And then I definitely have things that are like absolute truths for me, like garlic's one. Like I eat heaps of raw garlic all the time.
You just mung it. You just mung it like that. Do you chew it or swallow it or?
I have a spoon of like raw garlic and honey like every couple of days. Yeah. And it just like, if I'm feeling sick at all, it sorts me out. But,
nice.
But yeah, I don't know, like I don't have a lot of knowledge about it. I just I very much go on like what makes me feel good, and I'm pretty sensitive in my body. So like I definitely like if I eat too much bread, too much pasta, that shit makes me feel real tired, real down.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same with the pasta thing.
I feel good.
That wheat depends. Like depends how I'm feeling. I have there's like a quota or a tolerance that I have. Like I can have like 2 bowls of spaghetti, and then if I have a third, it just fucks me right out. Or I'll have like 1 donut, but if I have 2, it fucks me right out, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's very fine line. And by fucks me right out, I mean,
I definitely feel
lethargic, slow, sluggish. Sometimes I'll just pass out for like an hour.
Yeah, totally. I feel you. Which can be good if you got nothing to do.
Yeah, it can be awkward. It can be awkward if you're walking around somewhere and you got to find a laundromat to sleep in.
Yeah. Become the local sleepy man. I had this back home. We had this guy we used to call Sleepy Man because you just find him asleep like anywhere, and he just like he'd just be like passed out on like a table, and there'd just be like KFC food, like he hadn't eaten his meal yet, and he'd be asleep. And then one night I was like, and none of us knew his name. We just all called him Sleepy Man. And
this is back in the Sunshine Coast.
This is back in Noosa, yeah. And I was walking home from a party one night, and I was out front of this local bar, and there's people everywhere. And I was really drunk at the time, and I was like, who wants to smoke some weed? And all these backpackers are like, yeah. And I was like, cool, come back to my house. Cause it was like up the street. It's like where I was at my life at the time. Anyway, come back. So we go back and we're all smoking weed and it's cool. And I'm hanging out with this girl in my room. And then eventually like I come back out and like a lot of people left, and I'm pretty much like, okay guys, like time to go. And I look
me and the girl are hanging out.
Yeah. I look on my couch and Sleepy Man
is there.
On my couch. He's asleep. And I'm like, whoa, it's Sleepy Man. And I'm like, hey, Sleepy Man. Sleepy Man. And he wakes up and he's like, what? Hey, bro. Hey. And I was like, oh,
he's a Kiwi fella.
Sleepy Man. Like, I think he's Kiwi. Yeah. And I know him now. I've known him for years now. His name is Junior. He's a lovely guy. Really, really, really cool guy. I was like, what's going on? You're Sleepy Man. And it turns out, so what I found out is he's a baker. So he bakes late at night, and that's why in the daytime he's always asleep. Yeah.
But he doesn't live anywhere.
I wonder if it's a combination of the sleep or going back to what we were saying. Maybe he eats too much bread on the job. Like, he's part of the Noosa community. Everyone in Noosa knows him.
Does he have a house, or is it he like lives on the street?
No, he's got a house.
Yeah.
No, he's like got a job. He just falls asleep because he's a baker. So he works from like 9 at night till like 5 in the morning every day. So in the daytime, he's sleepy man.
You've been notorious. He was like having royalty in your house. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh shit. Sleepy man.
Did you get a selfie with him? Did you have selfie cameras back then?
I didn't, but fucking I should have.
Could have made a track with him in it, just real quick.
Yo, sleepy man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that does make me sleepy though. I could see myself being that guy.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of like we were talking about a second ago, like having expertise, or you said you haven't got much knowledge in the nutrition stuff. What areas of life have you really honed and spent a lot of time and nerded out on?
Rhyming words together. Like the most useless skill of all time, unless you put a lot of investment into morale, which I do. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that exactly? Well, I think about I don't know, this is kind of silly, but I think of a lot of stuff in reference to the apocalypse. So, and I'm not in a serious, I don't have like an anxiety about the apocalypse, but sometimes I think that I've put so much time into rhyming words together. If the apocalypse comes, I just better hope that people understand that they need to smile a little bit or else, because I can't hunt food. Motherfucker's going to be fucking hunting and I'm going to be like, I rhyme words really well.
Most useless skill in the world.
Anyway. But yes, so I mean, I've been rapping for like 17 years. So yeah, but I've been rhyming for a long time. So I'd say I've got like quite a good expertise. I'm definitely like a lifelong student though. So like I try to humble myself as much as possible because I mean, I'd hate to be the best at anything. I want to be learning forever. So
no doubt. And what got you into it? Like, how did it all start? Like, was there a moment where you remember like, damn, I saw someone rapping and I just went like, I need to do that? Or like, what was it like for you?
So when I was 12, my cousin called me and my brother into his room. It was like he had this new secret. Like, hey man, you got to check this thing out. Like I discovered this thing. And we went into his room and he showed us Eminem, Guilty Conscience. Do you remember that song?
How's it go?
Oh, fuck. I can't even. It's basically, it's like a 3-part. It's these 3 different stories and they're fucked up Eminem, Slim Shady stories. But it's Eminem and Dr. Dre and they're Eminem is the devil and Dr. Dre is the angel. And it's like different situations. And they're like telling each person like, Dr. Dre saying, oh, think about it. And Eminem saying, no, fucking kill him. Anyway, I was like 12 and I just remember it was like a movie, I was just like, I was so taken aback by how visual this was. And I went home and started writing like immediately. And then my brother at the same time started writing from the same experience. And we've both been rapping now for 17 years.
What do you mean? So like, I'm curious to know how that inspired you to write. Like, how did you know to write? Like, were you just like, I want to do that? And you just knew that in order to do that, you had to start writing? Like, were you already good at English and poetry and that sort of stuff? Or?
Nah, I remember, okay, so, because I started singing when I was 10 and I really wanted to be a singer. And my parents are very supportive. So they put me into like singing classes. But in Noosa, there's not a lot of resources for that kind of thing in a diverse cultural range. So it was very much like, if you want to learn how to sing, you went to like classical lessons. It was just like classical singing. So I did classical singing for a long time. And when I found rap, I was already singing and I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to perform, but I was learning in a medium that I wasn't really passionate about. I was learning a lot of theater songs and stuff that just didn't really touch me. So when I first heard rap music, it was like, whoa.
What sort of stuff? What kind of theater songs were you learning?
I found my family. Oliver, never before. All that shit. Like I was doing a Stedfords. I was doing AMEB Ansgar modern exams.
Yes.
I wasn't very, very good at it though, just because there was no passion. Like it was sort of when I teach adults how to rap, the main thing there's no discipline involved if you find that passion. And with music, with singing, it was always a discipline, and with rapping, it was just a passion that I got. And I just like I've written raps like every day for 17 years. Like I love it. And yeah, when I found it, it was like, fuck, I can't describe it. Yeah, I went home and started writing. I mean, the first rap I wrote was like, like 200 bars. Like I didn't even think about the concept of a song. I was just write, bars,
Do you remember that? You got it first?
I remember like the first 16. It's
Hit it.
terrible.
I know it is.
So
it always is.
you got to picture like I'm like a kid in Noosa, like the chillest place ever, and all I was listening to was like NWA. It was like NWA and Eminem. So I was like, I'm the man you don't want to meet late at night in the street. This isn't my accent, by the way. This is how I rapped it when I was 12.
Yeah.
I'm the man you want to meet late at night in the street. I'll blow a hole in your head, make your face look like mincemeat. You can't touch me. Don't rush me. I'll beat you down like a bully for your lunch money. I'll fuck you up, punk, just like your mama. Ooh, I blow your cover? Stupid motherfucker. That's all I got from that one.
Yes. But that's dope, though. That's dope. That's for a first. Man. That's actually dope. Like just the structure of this, the words and the story. Yeah. It's actually good.
Cheers, man. It was actually funny good. Back then because Dad's from Inglewood, LA. So Dad's from the hood, and his kids rapping like yo, and he'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like he's like, "I'm a hippie. I'm like way more gangster than you." What's
his nationality? Where's he from?
He's from the States. So he's from Inglewood, LA.
Born and raised.
So like like boys in the hood, like that neighborhood's where Dad's from. Yeah. So he'd see this and be like, "What the fuck?"
Inglewood always up to no good, even Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. That makes sense. It makes sense that you're a rapper. Then you got that in your genes.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Dad loves the Wu-Tang. He's always throwing up the W.
Okay. Does your dad rap too? Was he get into it?
He raps a little bit, but more for I don't know, fun. Like, because my dad's a magician, so he built a cement.
That's so dope. That's the dopest. I think that's one of the dopest phrases I've heard in all month. I know it's the first of the month, but
Dad's a magician. So Dad built a cement boat in his backyard in Inglewood, and they sailed it to Tahiti, and then he went from Tahiti to New Zealand and Noosa, and then he made a living doing magic in restaurants in Noosa. Now he's like the Noosa magician.
That's dope. That's a dope story.
Crazy.
How long did it take him to build that boat?
He's definitely like when people are like, you can't. I've seen one picture of it. And it's like a newspaper clipping, and they're all there. They're like hippies. Dad's got a big afro, and they're just like standing next to this giant boat. And like the mast was like they stole like a street pole and like made a mast out of it and shit. Yeah, they nearly died. It's pretty
lucky.
Crazy.
I was about to say they're lucky they're alive.
Yeah, it took them 2 months to get there. They didn't test the boat. They just went straight to Tahiti. Like, it's pretty crazy.
That's some audaciousness. So do you have a bit of that too? That audacious, and did that trickle down into you in terms of just jumping into things and? Or did you learn and go, I think I might try things before I go and jump in?
I think I definitely try things a little bit more, but I really like, I find inspiration comes from transition. So if I find myself bored, like I think that's why I'm over in Asia right now, is that I really love Melbourne, and moving to Melbourne was such a big transition for me, and I fell in love with the city, and it's great. But now I'm there, it's like, it's a whole lot of the same awesome things, and I love it there, but it's very the same. And I find, so I always want transition. But as an example is that when I first was going to move to Asia, I was being more audacious, and I was like, I'm moving to Manila. I'm going to move there forever. Like I was looking at apartments. I was like, I'm going. And then I was like, okay, maybe I need to slow down. I'll go to Malaysia where I know people. I'll go stay with some friends for 3 months.
Test the waters a bit.
See what happens. Yeah. So I don't
before your street pole mast breaks. Yeah. And you die.
The metaphor is strong. When did you start rapping, bro?
Around the same, man. I was what? Oh man, I would have been earlier actually. Like the actual time I started trying to rap was like I was learning other people's raps was. Oh, what year? Let's actually have a look, huh? Let's have a look at this. I'm gonna.
Have you got the rhymes in there?
I haven't got the rhymes, but I'll find the date of when this song came out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was Wuha. No, it wasn't Wuha. It was earlier than that. 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 Hold on.
Or is that Buster?
That was Buster and ODB.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Would have been around then, but I grew up on this. So the 98 was, I would have been 12. Same,
yeah, right.
same as you.
Yeah, right.
Give me some more. So I heard that on the radio.
So
This was like tapes. We had tapes back then, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll record the radio and like record the song and like rewind it, write the lyric out. Like we had no Genius, with no Google, none of this shit, you know, no even Pentium computers. I think we were Nintendo Entertainment System back then, NES. Old school. And I heard that song, Give Me Some More, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. How does this person do this? And that was Busta Rhymes. And I'd rewind, I'd write the lyric out, rewind, did I get the word right? And I'd write that lyrics out myself with pencil and paper and erase it if it's like, because you know it's so fast, you'd like have to rewind it. And I learned that song, and I was, you know, it was like, this is dope. But I grew up on like Arrested Development, you know, like Belle Biv DeVoe, you know, a lot of that stuff as well. A lot of the Snoop. I wasn't listening to NWA too much. It was more like Snoop Dogg, a little bit Tupac as well. But that was when I was even younger, when I was 7, 8. When that stuff was big. That would have been like 92. You know, like the golden era stuff. 92 to 98 was like you know, when I started getting heavy into it. And but my essentially my stepdad, which is a guy named Gil Scott Heron.
Just wait, your stepdad is Gil Scott Heron?
Yeah. So he's passed away now, but that was who I was living in the States with my mum with. So when I lived with him, I was showing him, like, you know, I was doing a bit of rapping and stuff, and he's like, I was always like freestyling, so I was just like off the top improvising. I wouldn't write anything down. And then he showed me, he's like, come here. It's like, let me show you something. He's like, you want to get these ideas and put them down and have some thought about them, or have some, you know, structure around them and actually write. So that's why I asked you the question, how did you know to write? Because that never occurred to me to write. You know, I was just like, oh, bars, just going to rap bars. I didn't even know what a bar was back then. It was like words. It was just words back then. And he pulled me aside. He's like, what you want to do is get your pen, you get your paper, and then just shut up and listen. He's like, just be quiet, listen, and then words will get. He told me, like, the spirits will give you words. And it's your job to catch the words and then bring them down and put them onto the paper. And then he's like, and then you get your pen moving, and then when your pen stops, it means that your mind's getting in the way and you're thinking too much. And then stop again and listen, and another piece will come and you grab it, and then you know, essentially he was teaching me how to get in the flow zone. Like, little did I know.
That's a really good way of explaining it. Like, I think any artist who writes a lot can relate. Like, I always call it source. You know, you've got like the mental technique of, say, like rhyme structure, and the physical technique of expression, and like being able to, you know, physically do that. But then there's the other thing, which is what your stepdad's talking about, you know, which is, I don't know what you call it. It's like a meditation or a spiritual practice, or it's like a clearing of the mind.
It's no mind. It's no mind.
Yeah, right. There is no try.
Well, it's no mind. It's like, because that's the thing. I think that's the difference between, like, when, you know, your best stuff that comes through and the stuff that's okay. It's good. You know, it's good, but you know, it's not like, it doesn't blow yourself away. You know, there's some bars that are like, you listen to them, like, fuck, that's actually pretty fucking good. Who wrote that? And it's like those times where you're like, it takes you 10 minutes to write the whole song. You know, those times are when it's just like that, you're half asleep and the bars come out and you don't even remember writing the verse. You know, you fully got that full connection. And I know that my dopest shit is the one that's never been effortful. At the same time, there's something to be said about putting 100, 200 hours into one verse and really, you know, making it like, that's Eminem style. And that's, you know, that's bringing best of both worlds, where he's open and has the process where he puts the words on the board and mix and mashes them, and then he's putting all the energy in, you know. So I think bringing it from top down and bottom up as well is another method that can be like super powered, you know. So I'm 32 now, so 21 years, something like that. And I was on stage Wednesday night for the last
crazy.
Can I Kick It at which is a night that my homeboy Tom Kwan.
Horse Bazaar.
Well, it was the last one at Horse Bazaar. It's moved to Grumpy's, another venue in Melbourne, and so that was the last one, and I just happened to be there. I just saw it randomly. It was like, oh, I was there, and I didn't even know about the last one. And it's dope because Tom and I used to freestyle out. I used to run a thing called the Global Hip Hop Collective, and every Sunday we'll freestyle and have jams, like cyphers with like break dancers, and we'll have MCs, beatboxing, you know, like down at the skate park we started. Then we moved to Tivoli Arcade because it would get freezing in the winter. We'd go all winter, all summer, every Sunday, just holding it down. And Tom and I used to freestyle. And then I ran the Street Poetics night with my boy Wasabi. And then
DJ Wasabi.
Yeah.
I love Wasabi.
Oh, he's a brother, man. Shout outs to Wasabi if you're tuning in. And then Tom just got the idea. He's like, "Fuck, we got no Street Poetics," which was the big cipher night started by Marlon Elf Transporter way back in the day, and we just kept it alive. And then Tom's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do this myself," and then he started kind of kick it, and that's still rolling on. He's moved on, but it's still rolling on, and it's just so good to see the evolution of the culture, So my point being, I jumped on stage. I hadn't been on stage since Oregon Eclipse Festival last year. Which was 6 months ago in August or something. So almost coming up to close to 12 months actually. And it's someone just came up to me, we were ciphering outside, and he's like, "Dude, like, I've been just getting into freestyling, and I feel the fear, and it's like in my head, I got these dope bars, and then I get on stage and it comes out different, It's like, and I said, "How long you been doing it?" He's like, "Oh, just like about a year." I'm like, "Dude, it's hours, it's reps. You just do the reps, and soon what you hear in your mind is going to come out of you. It's just doing the reps, like art. If you draw at this beginning, you've got an idea of what to do, but then when you put in the thousands and thousands and thousands of reps and hours, soon what you see in your mind, you can start seeing coming out of the pen, and it's the same with the voice and the lyrics." So, and he said to me, he's like, "Dude, I could tell that you've put the hours in, because what you did was just like mind blowing." And I'm thinking I'm rusty as fuck. I'm thinking, shit.
Yeah.
But it's definitely those reps count,
Yeah, especially for freestyling, I say it's like it's a muscle, and if you don't work it, like you lose it. I used to busk for a living back in the day, and we used to freestyle all the time. And man, you get real good at it. And now, like, I'm good at freestyling in a room full of people who don't freestyle much, but you put me when I hang out with like Hugo or whatever, I'm like, no, I'm whack. Like, I fuck around with a bit of it, but that's definitely a muscle. I think freestyling, even more than writing, is that mind, no mind, because it really is your brain getting in the way. It gets in your way so much, having to drop your ego and stop thinking about whether what you're saying is going to be good and just having fun. But when you get in that state with freestyle, man, where you're like a superhero, like, that state where you can just say anything.
It's amazing. That's the ultimate flow zone. That's the ultimate flow zone. For me, I call this, living life in the flow zone. This is like, it's interesting. I find it fascinating that being a rapper for 21 years, and then moving into the mindfulness and flow states, and so the flow zone is about that, and it comes a lot of it from that background in the flow, and even moving into now be speaking on stage, even this flow jam. I don't know, there's no script of what the hell I'm going to say. We're having a conversation, like what wants to come through when I'm on the stage is like a lot of people will be like really planned and meticulous, and I'm just going to be up there, and oftentimes if I'm running a workshop or I am presenting something, it's just like I have an idea of what I want to present, and then I just drop into that flow zone, and I feel that that's where the more powerful stuff comes through, when your mind is out of the way, you got the intention, it just comes out.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like concentration can be your enemy. Like when I work, I use the yo-yo, because I find if I can put my mind mindlessly over here a little bit, then my instincts kick in more over here, and they're just more free to work. So like if I'm having a conversation, I'll sit there yo-yoing and everything's fine. But if I stop yo-yoing, I start thinking about the conversation too much, and I start overthinking it, and then I start stuttering and bumbling and fumbling around my words. It's
So what's this while you're doing what kind of work? You're having conversations with people while yo-yoing?
Pretty much, yeah. I work for a financial planning company that's based in Brisbane. So that's why I work from my computer, so I can just work anywhere I want.
Living the dream. Anywhere with a good internet connection.
That's true.
So not Australia.
Not doing well for me. Malaysia's internet's pretty sweet though. So it's my boss has been telling me for ages. He's like, "Why do you live in Australia? Like you could work anywhere." And for a long time, because me and my ex-partner, like who I was with for the last 2 years, that was like the main reason keeping me in Australia a bit. And yeah, this job, I think that's the main thing. It's like this job for me is it's just opened up so many avenues because I can tour the country and I don't have to stop working. Like as a musician, having that type of financial stability while traveling is fucking priceless. Like, yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do what I do if I didn't have the stable job that I do that I can travel with.
So when did that click for you? Was that something that you were struggling with? You were like, fuck, I want to do this music career thing, and then I also I need to eat as well.
Yeah.
Like how did that all pan out?
Well, when I was in Noosa, there's no work there. It's very much hospitality. It's all seasonal, but it's also really cool because you can live there kind of cheap. You know, like I used to live in a $4.1 million house with 10 other people and we all worked at restaurants and we just shared the rent, you know, so you could live in these like incredible places for not very expensive. I used to call it the broke billionaire's mansion because we'd be sitting there eating like mee goreng in this like fuck off mansion, just like, but we couldn't afford food, you know? But when I moved away from Noosa, because when I was in Noosa, I was doing it. I was making music. I was putting out music. I was performing a lot, but I was very much a big fish in a small pond. And that's why I wanted to move to Melbourne because I want to be humbled by that. And I moved to Melbourne and it did exactly that. I was humbled.
You're like, damn, there's some dope people down here.
It's great. You know,
who did you like, who just came in and who presented themselves? Or you went out there? What did you find? Did you just jump online and find stuff? How did that all happen?
Well, I make friends like everywhere. I'm very quick to make friends. So I mean, a lot of different things happen. One of the first things that happened to me, which was like the first week I was there, I was waiting for a friend near Flinders Station. And I was walking along with kids. There was probably about 10 of them and they're all ciphering. And I was like, I walked up, you know, and I'm sort of like in the cipher now and they're all rapping. And then it came my turn and I spat a rap. And then all of a sudden, like Mantra's head pops in next to me. And I'm like, and Mantra's like, growing up, Mantra was like one of my favorite Australian rappers. You know, he's extremely intelligent, very introspective. His skill as a craftsman is like incredible. So I really looked up to him a lot. And I was just like rapping. And all of a sudden, like one of my favorite rappers' heads like next to me, just like listening. And I was like, oh shit, like fuck. And, you know, and you know, I finished rapping and he was like, oh, nice one. And then he walked off and I was just like, whoa, like Melbourne's crazy, you know? And now it's just like, you know, I see Mantra around, like we're not like really good friends or anything, but we like say hey to each other and have a chat. And it's like that with a lot of people. Like I see Emma Jones around, you know, who I grew up on 1200 Techniques, like that kind of shit. And then there's also just people who aren't, you know, who I didn't know before coming here, like Hugo, you know, from Juice Rap News and that, you know, he's a homie, and like Tando and her whole crew with like Mickey and Henry and that whole crew. And
nice.
I mean, it just expands out. But at the end of the day, to be honest, I think I connect more with the general music crowd than I do with specifically the hip hop crowd. Like, I really, really like hanging out with like I see myself more as a horn than as a rapper because I want to be that piece in the band. I don't want to be the only thing. Yeah, I like to look at it all and see my best place, which might not be to rap for an entire song. Sometimes it's just to spit a hot 16 and fuck off.
Just a little bit. I totally agree, man. It's I think it was Pharaoh Monch. I think I was hearing him. He's saying that he sees himself when he's writing in particular, and also when he's, you know, like just on a track, but also when he's writing, he's thinking not about words necessarily, and especially the structure of, because, you know, his structure of his flow is quite out there. It's quite interesting. It's quite different. And he thinks of himself more like a trumpet. So when he writes, he thinks of the different staccatos and different ways that he can bring it in. And you can tell that just by listening to him, you know. He's like, yeah, that's right. Think of yourself as an instrument. I really have that same mentality too. And like you said, just sprinkling a little bit. Some tracks, like we'll be writing a couple of projects I've been working on. I'll be like, I'll hear the beat and I'll be like, they're like, I want you on this tune. I'm like, what do you want? They're like 24. I'm like, no, this doesn't need 24 of me. This just needs a little 8. Let me just give you an 8. You know?
Yeah. I think it's important. And I think, you know, when I was growing up, it was always around rap crowds. And then when I started playing with different bands, playing with Aphrodisiac, and I played with Tijuana Cartel a little bit when I was younger, and like playing with these bands and realizing that I'm not the centerpiece anymore. Yeah. I think that's really important. And I think for rappers who don't experience that and are always that solo artist in front of the DJ, it's like a 24-hour guitar solo. They just keep going. I think it's really important for them to find that because it gives you taste, you know? People be like, same thing. People say, oh, get up with our band. And I'll say, what do you want me to do? And they'll be like, get up for every song. I'll be like, nah. Just let me come in just real quick, you know? Just a sprinkle. Bam.
That's it. That'll be more impactful.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah. And what do you say, like, in terms of...
I got Lawrence, you know, Lawrence sometimes he wants me up.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Lawrence?
Hello? Yeah, Lawrence, sometimes he'll try to get me up for so many songs. I'll be like, Lawrence, I can't do every song. I love getting up there though. There's nothing against Lawrence. He's a fucking legend. Such a great dude.
This Foreign Brothers?
Yeah, Foreign Brothers.
Yeah, it's big, man. It's big. Shout outs to these people. Shout outs to Mantra. Shout outs to Infa. Want to get some of these peeps on the show too, man. And that's what I love, actually. I've had who did I have on the other day? I had on Toomey. Do you know Toomey?
Yeah, I know Toomey. He's a legend. Yeah,
absolute really legend. So we were talking, and one of his episodes will come out just before this one does. And yeah, just like I just love having because we speak the same language, you know what I mean? So similar to you, we speak in the same, like people who listen, what's a bar? You know, like, what's an 8? What's he talking about? You know?
Yeah. It's so funny. It seems so strange that someone wouldn't know what the fuck that means, but you're right.
100%. And in terms of I guess like, because how old are you now? 29?
Yeah.
So yeah, the kids who are coming up, the 12 years old, the 12 years old, the 12-year-olds, the 16-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, however old, they might be 40-year-old, but people who are just starting on the journey of getting into like the creativity, the music, looking to build, like what would you share with them? If you like, what would you wish that you knew that you know now that you could share with someone who might be in that position? It might be music, or it just might be an endeavor that they're going into, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to find it, like I said, when I was so young. So I've never tried to rap. Like rapping for me, easiest thing in the world, just loved it, passion. And when I do teach people how to rap, it is always about trying to teach them to have fun, teach them to shut the voice off that's trying to be good at something. My newest EP, it's called Stop Trying. And that's what it's all about. It's like, just stop trying. Like trying is something we do in the pursuit of gaining a skill. But once you've got that skill, you need to learn to shut that off and just let it go and let it flow. So I think when chasing any passion, like any aspirations, it's like, if you can find passion and you can find fun, you just don't need to try. Like it's fucking awesome. Like, do we try to eat good food? Like if there's good food in front of you, are you like working at eating it? Nah. So if you are finding it hard to, like, if we use food as the metaphor, if you're looking at that food and it's like a chore to fucking eat it, you need to find a different dish. That might not be the right dish for you. But sometimes there's a whole plate of food and you want most of it, but there's a little bit on there and you got to make that sacrifice. You got to eat that little bit of food you don't really like in order to get to that good shit. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily that everything's always sunshine and rainbows, but it's definitely like you need to find that dish that just makes you fucking salivate like an animal. And you don't need that, you know, you're like slipping on your own saliva just to get to it. So that's what I'd say is like, just try to find that thing. Just try to find it. And maybe searching for it can be that thing, you know? It's
like, stop trying, but try to find the thing. Just find the fucking thing, I'd say.
Find it. Yeah. Just find the thing that you don't need to try anymore, that you just go, oh, like, I can't do anything else. I mean, having passion is one of the most valuable things that I can see in my life. Like in my relationships, you know, I don't want to, I wouldn't want to date anyone who doesn't have something, which is that relationship with myself that I connect to through music. It doesn't become codependent. And I find that with like relationships across the board. It's really, really great to connect with people, but it's also great to have that separate thing that you can be alone and find that immense joy. You know what I mean? I mean, writing a good verse for me is like having an orgasm. It's like making love to myself. Like I just sit there and I'm like flipping and I hit, you know, you're looking for that puzzle piece and you find that perfect puzzle piece and I'm fucking jumping up and down. I'm screaming. I'm throwing shit. I might be crying. Like it's fucking, it's incredible. And if people can find that, I think everything else in their life will open up. Yeah.
100%.
So that's what find that thing.
100%. The start of that was a bit choppy in just the quality of the thing. So it's like it was like when you find that passion, just hit the start. See if you can wrap that, summarize all of that what you said at the beginning, which is when you find that passion.
if you find the passion that you don't have to try anymore when you get it, like that is the absolute key. Like finding that meal that just makes you salivate and you're like slipping all over yourself to get to it, everything else will open up. I mean, I think socially, sometimes people say, oh, new city, I'm going to make new friends. But like for artists, man, like if you find that thing you love, it's easy. I go to an open mic, I got friends, boom, done. Like I go to an open mic night and I meet a couple people, you know, like Tom Kwan, you know, like, cause I met Tom Kwan when he was busking in the city. I went up to him, I was like, can I have a freestyle? And he was like, yeah. And he handed me the mic and we had a little rap. And then he was like, come to Holster. I met Detective, I met Violet there, I met all these rappers there, you know what I mean? So it's like, not only will the passion help you in other ways, but it becomes your passport into the world, you know?
Yeah, it does.
Anywhere you go, you can bond with that shit. It's like community.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, anywhere in the world, you don't even have to speak the language. You got
Exactly.
you got flows. People hear that they don't know what you're saying. I go to Spain, I go to Mexico, I go anywhere. Like I go to Estonia, I go to Germany. You know, you jump on an open mic there, have no idea what the motherfucker's saying, but you can feel the like you can hear it. You can feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like this motherfucker's dope. You know. Yeah. You can feel it, and same in English. It's just like, I don't know if they're not understanding what I'm saying, but they know that I'm bringing it. They've got the swag, or got the flow, or whatever. You know, it's like, yeah, this person's dope. Come and hang out at the after party, or come and hang out with us. You got friends with us because it's that language, right?
Yeah. One of my favorite musicians is Louis Armstrong. You know, Satchmo, the trumpet player. You know, what a wonderful world. Anyway, yeah. So Satchmo, I've got this record. It's like my favorite record, and it's him traveling around the world and doing these different interviews and playing music. And there's this one interview with him, and he's in like a basement of a jazz club in Paris. And it's like 6 a.m. and they've been playing jazz for like 12 hours or something. So he's just got the most beautiful lived voice. Like, it's just, and he's just like this really happy. He's always laughing and stuff. And this guy's like classic, like old English interviewer. He's like, so Satchmo, I saw you playing this evening, and you were playing with all these different people, and they were from all these different countries, and none of you spoke the same language, and yet you're able to communicate with each other on stage. How does that work? And he's like, oh, you know, Daddy, we don't speak the same language, but when we get up there, you know, we all speak jazz. So as long as you come in with an open heart, you're going to speak that language. You know what I'm saying, Daddy? And he's explaining exactly that. It's just like, it doesn't matter that none of them can communicate. They speak jazz, you know? And I think it's the same, even if it's like something less particular. It might not be jazz. It's just like,
it might be music. It might be generally music. It might be art. It might be dance. It might be cooking. It might be massage. It might be whatever the hell it is, you know? It might be even other things. It's just that affinity. It might be like sport. You like into sports. Like, yeah, cool. Have a kick of the soccer ball. You don't have to speak the same language, or, you know, like, it's the same thing. And I think it's all creativity, man. Like the language of creativity.
Yeah, fully.
It's dope. And yeah, I guess it's the title of the new record is you say it's an EP or album?
It's an EP.
EP, yeah, is Stop Trying. So you got any what's your favorite bar off there? Can you share with us? Let's a cappella or throw a beat on and hit us with it.
I won't put a beat on, but I got this verse. It's like I am defined by my self-perception. You look at me, I look at you, we're looking at reflections. We're just projections of each other, call it misconception. I hear your words, but still I miss the message in your sentence. I pick a pen up writing rhythms over spinning records. For the record, in its essence, this is misdirection. Something my father taught. Magician's presence since a child helped begin the lessons in detection of myself, obtaining that which is respected. I tell my therapist, I feel as if I'm someone wretched. He asked me, who told you that, but I can't seem to recollect it. We good again?
Yeah, hit it from the top again.
I am defined by my self-perception. You look at me, I look at you, we're looking at reflections. We're just projections of each other, call it misconception. I hear your words, but still I miss the message in your sentence. I pick a pen up writing rhythms over spinning records. For the record, in its essence, this is misdirection. Something my father taught. Magician's presence since a child helped begin the lessons in detection of myself, obtaining that which is respected. I tell my therapist, I feel as if I'm someone wretched. He asked me, who told you that, but I can't seem to recollect it. I'm just a kid out playing games, hoping to get selected. Little did I know that it is me who gets to pick my team. It seems along the way I lost my power to these imperfections, indiscretions that will hold me captive till I win redemption. Indigestion, interject until I lose my inattention. My intention is to be happy. To some, this is offensive. In defense of me, I'm just a piece of them that isn't happy. They are just a piece of me, reminding me to be defensive. We blame each other. This is how we seek protection from the fact that we are all responsible for these incessant patterns known as obstacles, not optimal to blame our parents because that is paradoxical. Still logic we inherit. Everyday objections, everyday rejections, every day I'm tested, holding my possessions, collecting these tall obsessions, neglecting the small affection. I'm begging to be presented, preventing me from entering anything resembling heaven, inevitably ending with me either being a legend or never reaching my full potential, just these 6s and 7s.
Ah, dude, look. Can you see that chicken skin right there? Can you see that shit? This dude's a hyena.
I see it.
He's a hyena.
Nice.
Come prepared. Damn. Sway would be proud, son. Sway would be proud right now. Get your ass on the wake up show, son. Damn, son.
Oh, dude,
8:45 that shit, son. Make it happen. That shit got me excited. She got me excited.
Yeah.
Get your ass on there, son. Get your ass on there. Seriously, bro. Them in bars. The world needs to hear that shit, son. That's dope.
Cheers,
that's proper dope, man. Like, and that's the thing. I'm a nerd with this shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm a nerd with this shit. I'm a fucking nerd. I'm in there seeking session. I'm looking at the multi-syllable, the inner rhyme, the reverse shits, the fucking. I'm all in that with my brain and shit. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. That's why I love rapping for people like you, bro. You get it. He'll be like, you rap real fast. I'll be like, but did you hear what I said? I was here and there. I explain it to friends now. I nerd out. I'll be like, but he took it the inside rhyme, and then he went to the outside rhyme, but then he went like 8 bars, and then he like brought it back to this rhyme. And then they're like, oh man.
That's why we love these rappers, man. Busta Rhymes is like Busta for the flow. Tell me some of the artists that you're feeling from like time, from like when you were young, getting into it, and then you went through phase of this. But like, who are you always all time? Like I'll share with you mine. Mine is like Busta's my dude, flow always.
Yeah.
I like Tretch from Naughty by Nature.
Okay.
Dope MC. Of course, my dude Tech Nine, just ridiculous. And also Pharaoh Monch, I mentioned him earlier. In terms of like these technicality shits, it's like my dude is Gift of Gab, like the Gift of Gab from Black Alicious, and my homie Royce the 5'9".
Oh,
man.
dude.
Royce the 5'9", dude. In terms of like that shit where you're like, the fuck is this motherfucker doing with these words? Royce the 5'9", just hands down. I think in that album he made with Eminem, Eminem just like trying to catch up the whole time.
Oh yeah. The new Prime album is nuts.
Say that again?
Have you heard the new Prime album?
No, I haven't.
You know what Prime is?
Send me that.
You don't know Prime?
I haven't heard it. I think I heard of it, and someone pointed me towards it, but I haven't checked it.
You're gonna lose it. So Prime is DJ Premier and Royce the 5'9" as a group.
Yeah,
and they've done 2 albums now, and it's nuts. But Premier and Royce the 5'9" is like, I'll show people and I'll be like, listen to this, but I don't know if you like it because you don't rap. But this is like rap porn for me. It's just like I'll just be like, oh, like the bars. What's he say? He's got this line. He's like, I call my weed the Quran. You burn it and get stoned. It's like, oh man, it's just like bars. So many bars. It's fucking insane.
So exciting. So Royce, you feeling for? But you know what? Like, carry on. Finish your list first, and I've got another.
Okay, so I started with Eminem, and then NWA, and then I went through like the whole I love the West Coast. I was like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Warren G, Nate Dogg, all that stuff, and then I got into I started getting into really underground stuff. Like do you know Task Force?
Yeah. Task Force.
Yeah, exactly. So like Task Force, Skinny Man, Jest, Kalashnikov, like the whole English thing from back then.
Black Helicopters thing.
Yeah. And then, I went into like Necro, and then I got into nonfiction and Ill Bill and all that stuff over in New York. And then I started moving more to New York stuff. listening to, you know, a lot of Biggie and different stuff like that. But when I was younger, it was all underground. We were like heads. We were like, fuck that mainstream. We were really atmosphere, all of that real poetic stuff, because we were really into rap battling. So we used to get the DVDs of like Scribble Jam back when like you didn't have the internet. So we'd just like get them sent over. And
VHS thing.
Idea and abilities. And then, yeah, when I was older, you know, and becoming like, I've always been into the craft, but the older I get now, I look at a lot of stuff for different techniques. So like Tech Nine, as an example, is like the flow king, you know? So him, Busta Rhymes, Method Man, Machine Gun Kelly, like stuff like that these days I listen to a lot too. I'm obsessed with Ocean Wisdom right now. Have you heard Ocean Wisdom?
He's breaking apart.
Crazy. Yeah, I love looking at the tech.
Genius, Rap Genius is so good for that.
I haven't gone into that yet. I've seen the interviews. I have to
look
look at it.
It's just the Genius, like it shows all the lyrics, so you can see everyone's lyrics, and you can put your own up as well.
Yeah,
but
right.
It shows you the bars, and it shows you, like, it breaks it down for the layman, like shows you the metaphor and the entendres and all this stuff.
I'll have to check that for sure.
I was gonna say waste a lot of your life, but you're gonna.
Oh, dude, it ain't waste for me. I'm already doing it. I love it. Just be less self-indulgent. When we were younger, you know, because it's funny, because it's like
underground hip hop. Underground hip hop. UGHH was my website back in the day.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
right. We were on bboys.com.
Yeah.
It was Rhyme Pad, and then it was bboys.com, and it was like before, because when we were growing up, hip hop was not cool. Not where I'm from. We used to get picked on. It was like, oh, you're into rap music. Like people wouldn't like it. Oh, you want to be American? I'd be like, I am American. I'd be like, we don't give a fuck. You're a dickhead. And then Hilltop Hoods came out, and all of a sudden,
everyone loves it.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to the Hoods.
Yeah, it was like, all right. Yeah, definitely. They definitely paved the way. I stopped getting beat up the moment the Hoods came through. Yeah, the moment the Hilltop Hoods came out, I stopped getting picked on for making hip hop music. Like before the Hilltop Hoods, it was like not cool. No one was digging it. The Hilltop Hoods came out, and all of a sudden it was cool. And then hip hop just started blowing up in Australia. And it's really cool where we're at now, because now it's even changing. You know, it was very much the Hilltop Hoods and this real Aussie thing. And now you got like all these different cultures of people making hip hop music. And, you know, they've all got their own flavors. And it's, I feel like hip hop in Australia right now is in a great place.
Super exciting.
I'm obsessed with Remy. Like his shit is so dope. It's so musical. You know what I mean? It's like, I love listening to hip hop by people who obviously don't just listen to hip hop.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I listen, I'm like, you just listen to too much hip hop, man. You need to listen to some other music, because hip hop came from other music. So when people be like, I don't like jazz, but I love hip hop, or I don't like funk, but I love hip hop. It's like, dude, you don't fucking get hip hop then. Like, what was it? Afrika Bambaataa was in an interview I saw, and they were saying, who's the biggest hip hop? Who's the most hip hop person in the world? And he was like, James Brown. And they were like, what? And he was like, yeah, James Brown. You know, the breaks, like, it's fucking crazy. And he's
breakdancing on stage pretty much.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. People be like, I'm not into hip hop. And then I explain about what hip hop is and where it comes from, and about the break, and about how the break now transferred into like all dance music. And they'll be like, oh, I'll be like, yeah, it's kind of like the biggest genre in the world. Like you say you don't like it, but you just don't know that you like it.
It's right. And it's the same, like people are, oh, I'm not that much into reggae or, you know, and it's like, well, dancehall, and that's, you know, Cool Herc is a Jamaican, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Nuts, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's funnily enough you said, because I was the same, nerding out on all the underground stuff. No, I didn't name about 20 artists, you know, like that I really got into as well. But these days, like, what I'm finding is that I'm really loving ignorant music, just dumb shit that I don't have to think about. It's just like, just give me some auto tune, give me some like, just give me some skirt, and I'm good. Like I go work out, don't have to think about the, you know, like Kendrick's like on some shit, but I'm like, man, that's too deep for me, bro. I don't want to be thinking. I just want to zone out a little bit. You know?
At least you're aware of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that music as long as you're aware of it. I think when people are listening to it and don't think it's ignorant, that's the problem.
It's like they're following along, like, oh, this is the lifestyle I want to lead. No, I like it. You know?
That's the problem. Yeah. They're like, yeah, I'm a drug addict. Woo!
Bring it on. Slurp, slurp, skirt, skirt.
Dude, shit's crazy. That fucking shit's an epidemic now. Xanax is like taking over.
I saw a Vice documentary on that the other day in England. Just these motherfuckers just like happily homeless, like living off the dole and shit, and just getting like these fake Xanaxes, what they think is like extra strength and shit, and it's like hardly got any active ingredient in it.
Right.
Shows the power of placebo. You know, it's like, I'm a big believer that life is a placebo, though. So, you know, what do you think about that? Like, what is this thing that's happening? Do you write songs about that kind of stuff? Like what?
Yeah,
what is life? What is consciousness? This type of deal.
Depends how deep you want to go. I mean, my brother said to me one day, I was having a bad day, and my brother was like, dude, life's a book, and you're the author. You're also the star. Who do you want to be today? Who the fuck do you want to be? And I definitely, the older I get,
older brother.
This is my older brother.
Yeah, you're dropping the wisdom on you. I'm the youngin.
Yeah, he's dropping the wisdom. He doesn't remember saying that, though. That's the funny thing. He was having a bad day once, and I was like, remember that thing you said to me? He's like, I don't remember fucking saying that shit. I was like, you said it. Maybe he was in flow state. But yeah, like, man, I mean, I think more and more about it. I definitely write my own rules. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky to be a person who has grown up around good influence, that my rules, when I say I write my rules, they're not things that hurt people. I want to help people. I want to be a good person. You know, I'm a happy person. I'm a good communicator. So I'm lucky. I'm very blessed that I have that. But at the end of the day, fuck that, man. We die in the end. We don't take anything with us. What do they say? There ain't no U-Hauls following behind hearses, because you don't take shit with you there. So if you're going to take something, if we happen to take something, it's up here and it's in here. So yeah, I just want to be an adventure, feel stuff, you know what I mean? And to be honest, the more money I've found, to put it, okay, so you have like this saying, like being down to earth, right? You want to be down to earth. The more money people get, what do? They get higher in the buildings, they get up in the planes, they get behind the gate, the VIP, the community. They get separate and they stop being connected. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I think having financial stability is a really great thing. And I think it's important, at least in the world we live in, to pursue that for your own mental health, to have that stability. But I think it's like getting too caught up in that shit's bullshit. Like, it's not real. None of it's real. You know, like, you stop and talk to someone who has nothing, you'll learn more. Like, you'll learn so much, you know what I mean? Because humility and especially art, man, art is in the grit. Like, art's in the rust and it's in the dirt. It's not in the fucking polished plastic. There's no art there, you know? So
there can be too. Mix mashing them, you know?
Oh man, there can be. There definitely can be. But like, in the way of like that warmth, I think the plastic only has art in contrast to the dirt. It doesn't have, like, the dirt has art on itself. The plastic has art when the dirt feels a conflict with it. But if someone was just like, I'm just going to write about the plastic non-stop, even if it makes you feel something, because at the end of the day, it is subjective. And I understand that people get a positive feeling out of superficial music sometimes, and that's fine. But in the way of finding depth and truly growing, I think it has its place, but you've got to step back from it sometimes.
Right. And I love the fact that, you know, you got Kendrick, you got Donald, what's his name? Donald Glover.
Oh, how's that guy? Fucking hell, he's crazy.
You got these people who are saying some shit. You got even like Selena Gomez's, and who are like these chart topping peeps, you know, Justin Timberlake's that always been up there, you know, like doing his thing. Will Smith, just the people who are like up there. But if we're talking music, like, you got that, and then you got Migos, or you got Lil Uzi Vert, right there amongst each other. You know, I think everything's like balancing itself out. But it's crazy. You look at the top 10 or top 20, how much hip hop is in there, right?
There's a lot. There's a lot these days. Hip hop's
Beyonce, you know, dropping that stuff. So it's crazy, and a lot of it influences. You look around, you know, just at fashion, and you know, you look around at things like you'll see Donald Trump or something walking around in like his Air Force Ones. You know, like you see these people who's like, what? rocking that. So I think it's quite cool. And for you, when are you dropping the EP? Are you doing any touring? What's happening with you in that regard?
So the Stop Trying EP is out now, and we've got 3 video clips that we put out with it. And then we just did a national tour a couple months ago. So we just played the town. That was like the last festival I've played this year, putting a new EP. So I just sent the stems off for some of those for singles. So we're gonna get that mixed and mastered while I'm here. And I'm hoping to organize a tour for the end of the year. We're looking at some festivals right now for the end of the year. And then at the start of next year, I pretty much, it seems, in the last 3 years, and we'll probably continue this, is doing tours like around the end of the year, start of the year, around the summertime. Yeah. So that's what we're working at right now.
Escape for the winner. That's dope. Do you have any dates of that, or like anywhere, like you got a link for me I can share with this?
If people just look up Kudos Tunes, they'll find me everywhere. So check the Stop Trying EP out. I got the Give EP out from a year before that. And if you go to my Facebook or YouTube, or Kudos Tunes, you'll find.
Are you Instagram, Twitter? What are you more, Facebook, YouTube?
All Kudos Tunes, yeah. Mainly Instagram and Facebook, I would say, are my main social medias.
Tunes at Kudos Tunes. Kudos Tunes, you said?
Yeah, KUDOS TUNES.
NES, because Wasabi's Tunes as well, but he's got a Z on the end. Fucks with people. I can't find you, dude.
Wasabi, man. He's so funny. At the town the other week, the music finished, and my mate who runs the town, he was like, nah, this shit ain't finishing. And him and Wasabi got on stage. Wasabi's mixing, and Mick Scarlett's playing on the MPC. And I was like, fuck it. I was like out of it. I just got on stage and grabbed the mic, and it was just the best loose jam. Like there's like hundreds of people, and me and Wasabi's just mixing. Do you know Mr. Jeff, the juggler? He's like a hoop guy. Yeah, he had these like car buffers that he was using on people's backs, and Wasabi's like, my back's really sore, can anyone massage me? So I got the car buffer, and Wasabi's like, oh man, that's great. It's like melting all over the stage. It was so fun.
Those things feel so good, man. Those buffers, they're so good. The best massage is gone. You fix me right up.
Yeah.
So that's cool, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. Definitely look forward to hearing some more of those music, and definitely check out some Prime as well. Go nerd out for a little bit.
So good.
And before we go, I would like you to drop one more on him. One of your faves.
Okay. There's a fire in the fireplace. Time to warm your mind state, manifest at a higher rate. Tell me, elders, how does life taste? No longer like the apple that you ate way back when you were my age. Drop another cap to watch your mind race. Time waits for no one, so don't run, you might entice fate. I dive deep in search of hooks, been known to bite bait. It bites back with tight teeth, leaving me irate. I meditate within the darkness of a wired cave. If I concentrate, I cut the deck direct to high ace. I might make my mind train by lifting high weights like Harry in the staircase. My skull is now a tight space. I read a book. Brain got bigger. Go figure. Action turned to reaction, attracting notes with an eager mind. I will travel through the globe quicker. Take a step back if you want to see the whole picture. I found another idea. I hear that if I sharpen it, it might become a nice spear. I'll throw it through a crowd to see if it will slice fear in half. A quick dart, it skimmed past my right ear. Did you hear the words it whispered? Telling you to be yourself or else the world is twisted. Words are twisted into weapons, murdered wisdom as the earth is shifting. Learn the lesson, purpose given. Suburban legends tell us if we ever chase a dream, it will just lead to failure, which in turn will make you feel defeated. I am here to tell you this is just a crazy dream. The world that ain't all as it seems. Believe it or you'll get deleted. The music is a mantra. Listen as it gets repeated through the speaker's super frequency. If you could move between its beauty, eat it. Ain't it just the food you needed? To find that line, I closed my eyes. It came to mind. It ain't a lie inside of you's a genius. All you need to do is believe it. We judge ourselves and we just prove our weakness. Judging others is a way for us to sacrifice connection to these stupid demons. My mood is moving, mainly matching how we view the sequence. The Matrix isn't just a movie, Beavis. Take control and maybe you will see it.
It's just a movie, Beavis. God damn, I'm throwing shit down, bro. Yeah. Dude. Thank you. Keep doing, man. That shit is inspiration. It got me out here gonna be writing bars this afternoon, son.
Do it. Cheers, bro. I'm glad you like it.
Dude, you guys need to check this guy out. Go buy his music. Dude, you got that shit for sale where Bandcamp, set, Spotify? Like, how do people buy it?
Everywhere except for Bandcamp. But Spotify, SoundCloud, just go and look at it.
So you can purchase it from Spotify and stuff.
Right? Kudos Tunes.
Boom. Dude, buy this guy's stuff.
Yeah, you can stream it. You can purchase it from
dude.
Apple Music.
That's the kind of music you buy. You pay for that shit. That's that thousands of hours. You know.
Thanks for having us, bro. It's been really good chatting. Good getting to you. Hopefully one day.
Let's get on the track, man. Let's get on the track. Let's do it.
Do it. I got my mic. I bought for my birthday. I bought this interface and I bought this microphone.
Boom.
And now I can record all my vocals, so I'm keen to make more collaborations for sure. It's going to be a lot easier for me to do.
Perfect. All right, my mans, have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Cool, man. Well, shout outs for having us. Shout outs to everybody.
My absolute pleasure, bro. So
easy, bro.
Thanks for tuning in, cool, Flow man. Fam. And until next time, keep the flow growing and the growth flowing.